Former TKO and WWE Executive Chairman Vince McMahon's accuser Janelle Grant wrote a love letter to the ex-WWE CEO after the alleged abuse detailed in a recent bombshell lawsuit. However, she claims she was coerced by McMahon into writing the letter. Plenty of details in that. Plus, the Motor City Machine Guns, they're now gone from TNA Wrestling after their contracts have expired. Where are they expected to land? We'll let you know about that. Endeavor, TKO, and WWE's parent company, is being taken private by an investment firm. We've got all of the details on that as well. CM Punk and Cory Graves, they were friends, then they had a fallout. Now, recently, they've rekindled their relationship, according to Cory Graves himself. We got the ratings for Saturday's edition of AEW Collision, Friday's edition of WWE Smackdown on Fox, and also Friday's edition of AEW Rampage. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off with the latest developments in the bombshell allegations made against former WWE and TKO Executive Chairman Vince McMahon, this time in the form of love letters written to the former WWE CEO. However, maybe everything doesn't appear to be as it should be. Now, this comes from the New York Post, who is writing, quote, "A woman who alleges she was sexually abused for years by Vince McMahon wrote a gushing love letter to the former WWE CEO in which she declared the duo was, quote, in love with a capital L, and she now claims that McMahon coerced her to do it, the Post has learned. Janelle Grant, whose bombshell lawsuit landed a day before the wrestling icon abruptly stepped down as executive chairman of WWE parent TKO Group Holdings, penned a lengthy email to McMahon dated December 24, 2021, in which she called him, quote, my best friend, my love, and my everything, end quote. It continues by saying, quote, after almost 3 years together, it's like my life isn't even real to me unless you're there and in it, and I'm sharing it all with you. Grant, 43, wrote in a Christmas Eve letter to the 78-year-old McMahon obtained by the Post. The love-struck letter stands in contrast to the allegations in her explosive lawsuit filed in Connecticut federal court in January, which claimed that McMahon allegedly defecated on Grant's head during a threesome in May 2020, some 18 months before she wrote the alleged love letter. But Grant's attorney, Ann Callis, told the Post that McMahon actually instructed Grant to write the note. Quote, frankly, it's pretty disgusting that Vince's weeks-late attempt to defend his horrendous behavior he claims to this day never happened, is to try to showcase letters that Vince himself coerced her to write, Callis said. His psychological torture of her continues, as is typical of abusive predators who respond to women speaking out with increased threats. While Janelle isn't a stranger to his intimidation tactics, this is a new low even for him. Now, asked about the coercion allegations, McMahon's attorney, Jessica Torb Rosenberg of law firm Castlewich Benson Torres, told the Post that, quote, this is revisionist history. No one coerced Miss Grant to write that letter. She wrote it of her own accord. The fact that the letter shows it was the 24th draft speaks volumes. Nowhere in her voluminous complaint that is replete with fabrications does she mention being coerced into such behavior. The language of the letter is consistent with other communications she made to Miss McMahon over the course of their consensual relationship, Rosenberg added. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for Grant revealed that on December 21, 3 days before sending the letter, Grant texted McMahon to say that she had surgery on her pointer finger, saying, quote, I think I'm tapping out for the day. In the alleged text exchanged by the Post, which was not included in Grant's lawsuit but alleged as genuine by a spokesperson for Grant, McMahon responded, quote, damn it, sorry baby, following it with 2 heart emojis. Quote, how will I write your letter? Grant replied in the text thread. I can type and read it or try to write in a couple of days, Grant added. I'm so sorry if I mess this up. I want you to have a nice letter, sad face. Grant's rep, who asked to remain unnamed, also said that Grant had written love letters at McMahon's request so many times that she resorted to padding them with existing material from pop culture, including a GQ interview with Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly published 2 months before Grant's letter. In the GQ piece, for example, author Molly Lambert said of the celebs' relationship, quote, the carnal component is clearly off the charts, but they can also be sweet and funny. Language that was lifted nearly word for word in Grant's letter. Quote, Fox and MGK are in love with a capital L. The story also states yet another phrase lifted by Grant. In another passage, Grant wrote, quote, I feel understood, accepted, loved, and appreciated for who I am at my core. You see my heart, you see my soul. There are few people who know the secret of making a heaven here on earth. You are one of those rare people. Grant's spokesperson said the sugary sweet lines were ripped verbatim from the 1947 film The Bishop's Wife. In her suit, Grant, a former WWE employee who worked at the company's Stamford, Connecticut headquarters between June 2019 and March 2022, also claimed that McMahon trafficked her to other WWE executives and wrestlers and caused physical injuries from forceful use of sex toys that were named after male WWE stars. McMahon, who is under federal investigation by New York prosecutors over the sexual assault and sex trafficking allegations, has denied Grant's accusations, claiming that their relationship was a consensual affair. Quote, Miss Grant's claims are false, defamatory, and entirely without merit, McMahon's attorney, Torb, told the Post on Thursday. Quote, we intend to vigorously defend Mr. McMahon out of confidence that he will be vindicated, end quote. Grant's rambling 2,200-word email was taken from Grant's laptop as part of an investigation on behalf of WWE's board by white shoe law firm Simpson, Thacher and Bartlett, and is expected to appear in court filings as the case progresses, according to sources close to the situation. According to Grant's lawsuit, McMahon and fellow defendant John Laurinaitis, WWE's former head of talent relations, sexually abused Grant at WWE's headquarters for months in 2021. That included allegedly taking turns restraining Grant and having sex with her while telling her phrases, according to the court documents. Also in 2021, Grant claimed she was forced to visit Laurinaitis, the stepfather of former WWE stars Nikki and Brie Garcia, the Bella twins, in hotel rooms for sex before workdays at McMahon's command after she was transferred to the talent relations department where Laurinaitis served as Grant's boss. Laurinaitis, who has also since claimed he is also a victim of McMahon's actions in a stunning turn against the ex-WWE honcho, was fired from WWE in 2022 in the wake of a hush money scandal related to a $1.5 million non-disclosure agreement purportedly made to an employee who accused him of misconduct in 2012. At that time, McMahon was also being probed for his own roughly $3 million hush money payment and NDA with former staffers. WWE's 8 independent directors hired law firm Simpson, Thacher and Bartlett to conduct the investigation, during which they discovered Grant's gushing letter to McMahon obtained by the Post. Quote, whether it's your assistants, a chef, Brad, Nick, Johnny, or whoever sees us together, I think it's undeniable to them, or anyone who sees us, that we are in love with a capital L. In addition to Laurinaitis, sources said Grant appeared to be referring to WWE President Nick Khan, COO Brad Blum, identified in court documents as corporate officers number 1 and 2, as those who allegedly witnessed Grant and McMahon act so sweetly together. Laurinaitis' attorney, Edward Brennan, declined to comment on the letter, but noted that the 61-year-old ex-pro wrestler, known in the ring as Johnny Ace, denies all of the allegations made against him in the complaint and asserts that he is a victim in this matter, not a protagonist. In the December 2021 letter, Grant said the pair, quote, don't get to spend as much time together as we'd like to. Grant went on to detail her true love with McMahon, saying, quote, I am the best and most authentic version of myself in your presence, she wrote. Grant also detailed how she admired McMahon 78 for being the most handsome, radiant, charismatic person in any room, as well as his eyes with the beautiful kaleidoscope of colours and your big, beautiful, vulnerable heart. Grant concluded the love letter with, quote, you, Vince McMahon, are the one. For the yesterdays and todays and the tomorrows I can hardly wait for, thank you, my sweet beast. My heart is yours, always and forever. McMahon, meanwhile, is reportedly still married to Linda McMahon, his wife of nearly 6 decades, though he told Grant that their marriage was an arrangement on paper for business purposes, per the lawsuit. Representatives for WWE did not respond to the Post request for comment. So what do you make of the latest developments in this? Do you expect to see more developments and things like this come out in the future? Let me know your thoughts and reaction in the comment section below. Now, switching over to AEW, some details about a tag team that's reportedly expected to sign with All Elite Wrestling. With it previously reported that Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley's contract with TNA Wrestling was set to expire at the end of March, rumors have been swirling about what Sabin and Shelley will do next. Per Mike Johnson of PW Insider, the duo are now officially free agents. The report noted that some within TNA believe the duo will sign with AEW and that AEW will be their landing spot. The TNA roster gave Shelly and Sabin a send-off backstage during Saturday's TNA taping in Philadelphia. The duo wrestled their final match for the company at this TV taping against Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards. This bout will air in an upcoming episode of TNA Impact. So, do you think that this is a good move for the Motor City Machine Guns? And do you think this is a good move for AEW? Let me know your reaction to that too. Now, we spoke about TKO Group Holdings. Well, a bit of an update when it comes to TKO's parent company, Endeavor. That won't really have too much effect on WWE or TKO, but certainly in the business world, you never know. In a significant business move that possibly in the future could maybe affect WWE, TKO parent company Endeavor has been acquired and is being taken private. The investment firm Silver Lake will take control of the company, with the news of the acquisition announced today via press release. Endeavor now joins other Silver Lake holdings, including the AMC movie theater chain, Skype, Airbnb, and many more. This does not mean that TKO Group Holdings will be going private, as the press release states that the company will continue to be publicly traded while receiving the benefits from its connectivity to Endeavor's expertise, relationships, and significant capabilities. TKO's parent company is now run by a private organization rather than a board that's accountable to shareholders. Typically, private equity firms like Silver Lake buy companies or parts of them and then attempt to greatly increase the company's value before eventually selling the business for a profit. This process could take just a few years, or the firm could hold on to its investment for quite a long time. Endeavor stockholders are set to receive a payout of $27.50 for every share they own. That's a 55% premium over the stock price before the announcement that the company may explore a sale, which they've determined is the fair amount to offer. The press release touted the fact that, with Endeavor estimated to be worth $25 billion, this acquisition is the biggest private equity sponsored public-to-private investment transaction in more than 10 years and the biggest media and entertainment transaction ever. Silver Lake has been an investor in Endeavor since 2012, with Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel citing the partnership as integral to Endeavor's success over the past decade, including the WWE acquisition. With TKO unaffected by the new change, it seems Emanuel will continue to be serving as the company's CEO as well. Now, some details on Corey Graves and CM Punk, who previously were friends and then had a falling out. It looks like they're friends once again. Now, as discussed in an appearance on the Kurt Angle show back in November, ahead of CM Punk's surprise return, SmackDown lead announcer Corey Graves was once close friends with CM Punk prior to his 2014 exit from the company. However, in 2018, ahead of what was Punk's second and final fight in the UFC, Graves would famously air a lot of dirty laundry regarding his relationship with the Second City Saint, leading to questions regarding how the two would get along once Punk returned at Survivor Series 2023. While Graves stated in the previously mentioned Kurt Angle show appearance that he would welcome Punk back to WWE, we haven't had the answer to the question of whether the two former friends had in fact rekindled. That is up until now, as Graves would discuss his current relationship with Punk in an appearance on Sportskeeda's Wrestle Binge, revealing that the pair had cleared the air with one another and rekindled their lost friendship. Graves said, quote, "I'm proud to report that it's all water under the bridge. I bumped into him briefly the night of Survivor Series backstage, but it was chaotic. He had just come back. Everything was at 11 at the moment. The day of the Royal Rumble at Tropicana Field, I actually got to pull him aside for a few minutes and we cleared the air. We had a nice long chat. We both apologized for some of the things over the years and realized this is where we both belong. This is where we both want to be. It's been a really exciting time for me personally to be able to rekindle a friendship that meant so much to me over the years. I'm truly as excited to have Punk back here under the WWE banner as just about anybody." So it looks like that relationship has been mended. Now let's talk about the ratings for AEW Collision this past Saturday. Now, after being preempted by the NCAA basketball tournament, AEW Collision was back with a bang on March 30, hailing from the Budweiser Gardens in London, Ontario, Canada, marking the first time the company has hosted an event in the city. While fans in the building were hyped to see AEW live for the first time, how many people tuned in at home to see the action unfold? Well, according to WrestleNomics, the March 30 episode of Collision averaged a total of 458,000 viewers on TNT, marking a big 17% increase from the previous number they drew for the March 16 edition of the show. The March 30 average viewership is the highest Collision has drawn since its February 10 episode, which was headlined by an AEW International Championship match between Orange Cassidy and Tomohiro Ishii, and was the most viewed episode of Collision in 2024. Despite the big jump in viewership, the key 18 to 49 demographic saw a slight decrease of 8%, dropping from a 0.12 to a 0.11. However, the show benefited from having a 23% rise in viewers not aged 18 to 49, meaning AEW could have have attracted both younger and older viewers than their target demographic. Now, when it comes to the quarter-hour ratings, these come courtesy of WrestleNomics. Shout out to them and be sure to subscribe to their Patreon service. Now, those who tuned in for the show saw a variety of matches, with a number of them linking to stories that look to be paid off at AEW Dynasty on April 21st. Adam Copeland defended the TNT Championship against his old friend Matt Cardona before being confronted by Malachi Black, which later set up a match between Copeland, Eddie Kingston and Mark Briscoe against the House of Black at Dynasty. Both FTR and Top Flight advanced to the AEW Tag Team Championship Tournament semi-finals. Thunder Rosa defeated Lady Frost, Kyle O'Reilly defeated JD Drake, and the Blackpool Combat Club teamed up with Katsuyori Shibata to defeat Lance Archer and The Righteous. And as you can see, quite interestingly, the appearance of Matt Cardona did cause a spike not only in viewership but also the 18 to 49 demographic as well. Speaking of ratings, let's talk about the ratings for Friday Night Smackdown on Fox as we get closer to WrestleMania. The March 29, 2024 edition of Smackdown saw a dip in ratings and viewership with the lowest figures since December. As per WrestleNomics, the blue brand delivered a viewership of 2.201 million, a 2% decrease from the previous week, while the 18 to 49 demographic scored a rating of 0.60, which was also a 2% decline. The show also saw a 6% decrease in overall viewership compared to the average of the previous 4 weeks, while the key demographics saw an 8% decline for the same metric. While overall viewership for March 2024 remained unchanged from the corresponding period last year, the key demographic experienced a 6% increase. Interest in WWE has grown lately, translating to strong ratings for SmackDown, which has seen a substantial 10% increase in key demographic numbers for the first quarter of 2024 compared to the same period last year. Now, last week's SmackDown, the penultimate episode before WrestleMania, faced pretty stiff competition, and we can see that in the quarter-hour ratings here, courtesy of WrestleNomics. Shout out to them and be sure to subscribe to their Patreon service. As I mentioned, they faced strong competition from NCAA basketball, which aired on ESPN, TBS and CBS. The most watched sports product on March 29 was the NCAA basketball match between Duke and Houston, which raked in 7.33 million viewers, while over 6 million watched the NCAA match between NC State and Marquette. SmackDown had a promo by Jade Cargill, a confrontation between AJ Styles and LA Knight, 2 six-pack ladder match qualifying matches, and a main event match between Bianca Belair and Dakota Kai, among other segments, but didn't feature the big hitters that have been drawing the big numbers recently. That's the likes of the Final Boss, The Rock, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, or the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. So what do you make of those numbers? Let me know your reaction to that in the comment section below as well. And finally, we have the ratings for AEW Rampage. This marked the return of AEW Rampage to its normal time slot of 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Fridays. Of course, the prior week, it aired on Wednesday after AEW Dynamite, once again, due to NCAA basketball on TNT. And the ratings are for this week. Total viewership was 350,000 viewers on TNT, and it also pulled in a 0.11 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. Now, as I mentioned, versus last week, the numbers are down pretty significantly, particularly when it comes to going back into its normal time slot and not having a strong lead-in of AEW Dynamite 2 hours prior, because it's actually down 35% in total viewers. In comparison, it's also down 39% when it comes to the 1849 demographic as well. But there you go, guys. This is the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.